What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Behind the Grind. Once again, joining me today is professional MMA fighter Anthony the Genius Romero. How's it going today, Anthony?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. So, what we're going to be doing for you today is we're going to be talking about tonight's UFC fights. What UFC is this again?
This is UFC 244, I believe.
Sure?
No.
Alright, so we're going to be talking about the main card, I guess. So, kicking it off, Anthony's going to explain the first fight on the main card.
I don't know what the first fight on the main card is.
Okay, so the first fight is Kelvin versus
Is that the first fight?
Gillespie. Yeah, that is the first fight.
Okay.
From last time I checked.
Alright.
Okay, do you know anything about these guys?
So, I know Kelvin changed up his camp. He was training in TriStar. From my experience training there, it's a great gym, especially for him. He's known to be, I guess, more of a hothead in the cage. Used a lot of energy in the first, second, third round, and then in 5-round fights, he's known to kind of die down.
Mm-hmm.
His wrestling is great, but it'll be interesting because Gillespie, he has great wrestling as well. From my memory, I don't remember too much of his striking, but I know he's a great wrestler. He, I believe I heard that he trained with Kyle Dake, a great wrestler, and yeah, so it will be very interesting to see as well. Gillespie hasn't fought in a while. I believe his last fight was against Yancy Medeiros,
okay.
where he just dominated in the wrestling. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see who gets the better. But I kind of see it end up being a striking match because both their wrestling is so good. So.
Yeah, for sure. So the fight after that is Derrick, my balls was hot, Lewis versus, I don't know his first name, but I think his last name is Ivanov or something like that. And I know Derrick Lewis, he's first round, second round, and the last round he's kind of out of it. But he's kind of like what's it called? Like kind of like a fire and it dies down. So he's kind of like a I don't know. I keep saying kind of like a.
Yeah, Derrick Lewis. He's hard to predict. Like he doesn't really go too far with a lot of energy into the third round. But I remember watching his fight against Volkov. And boom, out of nowhere, I believe there's like 15 seconds left.
15 seconds.
And he knocks him out, and yeah, out of nowhere. So you got to be careful with Derrick Lewis. That's for sure. And then what was it, Ivanov? You said something like that. I don't remember too much. I can't remember.
He's not too big of a name.
His last fight, it might have been against.
Just look it up.
Yeah, I can't actually remember, but anyways, Derrick Lewis always entertains unless it's against Francis Ngannou, but yeah,
GC too.
Yeah.
And then the third fight, so not the co-main yet, but we have Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Vicente Luque. I actually had Vicente on the podcast, and I'm pretty sure we actually got him the fight because that's what he was talking about most. But, yeah, both of them great strikers. Vicente has some great power, I think it is, too. Oh, my God, I'm so bad. And then Wonderboy with his karate. I'm hoping Vicente will be able to take him down and kind of ride it out the rest of the fight. But, yeah, so that's the third fight. And then the co-main will be Kelvin Gastelum versus Darren Till.
That's who it was. Junior Dos Santos.
Oh.
I knew it was. And then he beat Tai Tuivasa and Ben Rothwell, his last two. So, yeah, not bad. He's 18-2, so that's not that bad. Yeah, just talking about Wonderboy and Vicente Luque. Vicente is actually known for his striking. He has a Dutch kickboxing style, but it'll be interesting because with that Dutch kickboxing, they're known to be chopping the legs, head kicks, and all that. but they're more of a standstill style. So they're kind of like wait, block, and then throw, and then throw their kicks and all that. And then Wonder Boy is more like
the karate kind of style.
Yeah, he's twitchy. He's throwing a lot of feints, and he's very long with his strikes. His kicks are up there, so he's more of an unpredictable type of striking. He'll throw his foot up there, and then his hand will come out of there, and then he'll do a spin. So he's very unpredictable. So I could see this being a striking match as well.
Could you see a finish in this fight, or all 3 rounds?
Stephen Thompson, I think he can pull off the finish against Vicente Luque. I know he's been on your show, but Stephen Thompson's on another level, and I think he can pull it off, especially coming off a loss. It'll change him a lot.
And then the co-main event, like I said before, but then he was talking about something else. Kelvin Gastelum versus Darren Till. Darren Till actually coming up in weight again, I'm pretty sure.
This is actually his first time at 185.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think everybody's like this. No one really likes this fight for Darren Till, but knowing how much of a fighter Darren Till is, he doesn't really care. He just goes out there and tries to prove everybody wrong. If he can, that's amazing. Kudos for him. But Kelvin Gastelum, he has some power, and he's knocked out a lot of people. And Darren Till lately has been falling.
Knocked out twice.
Right. We'll see if the weight cut makes a difference. Maybe with him having an extra 15 pounds, we'll let him take those shots. But I feel like if he does get hit, he's gonna go out again, and I don't really like to see that. Especially this would be his second knockout in a row.
Third if he got knocked out again.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see.
And then for the main event is the BMF title. So before we get to Masvidal versus Diaz, we're actually going to talk about the BMF belt. So most of you know Dwayne Johnson is actually handing out the belt. What did you think about the design of the belt, Anthony?
I think it was cool. It was something different, catches attention. I think it's something that you should feel honored to fight for, because who else, well, who knows if they're going to have another title fight for that, but who else is going to have that in the world? Like, it's like the only thing on the planet Earth designed like that, and it's so cool to see something new happening. It's cool, but it kind of takes away from the sport. It kind of jumps back into the entertainment era, which I understand. Everybody needs to make money. Yeah. It'll be fun, but I'm hoping that it's just like a one-time thing, and they cut it from there, and yeah.
Yeah, I actually think it was pretty cool, like you said, that they're doing that. It kind of gives more like attention, especially having The Rock hand out the belts and everything. But so our last 3 predictions will be fight of the night, submission of the night, and knockout of the night. Who do you have seeing winning the fight of the night?
Fight of the night, that's an easy one for me. That's Diaz and Masvidal.
We didn't even talk about that fight, actually.
Those guys are dogs. They'll fight 20 rounds if they could. They're non-stop. There's going to be power shots. There's going to be flurries. There's going to be everything you can ever imagine in that fight. I'm sure if they were allowed to, they'd headbutt you and knee you in the face on the ground and all that stuff, because they're just warriors, and they're street fighters. That's what they are. But
makes it so exciting.
They happen to be professional and make money to fight, which is awesome. And they both have stories of fighting on the street, like turf wars and stuff like that as kids. So it'll be really, really entertaining, and I'm hoping it lives up to the hype. I really do.
That'd be the worst thing if it did. And then for submission of the night, I'll actually do this one. We're gonna say let's see, probably Derrick Lewis.
No, 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 no.
He might pull off the submission of the night there.
Oh, Lord.
But you can pick the knockout of the night.
All right. Knockout of the night will probably be. Can you guess?
I'm not sure, actually.
Kelvin Gastelum and Darren Till. I see that being the knockout of the night. And this is only the main card. Like, I know there's a lot of great fights on the undercard, like Hakeem Dawodu is a Canadian. And
Walker Anderson, Brad Tavares.
yes.
Edmund Shabazian, Andrei Orlovsky.
Johnny Walker.
Yeah.
Johnny Walker could pull off a knockout too.
That's the prelims, though. And then we have Shane Burgos. And then Rosenstreich. I can't say that. I don't know if you can say that. Rosenstreich.
I don't know.
But lastly, we're going to switch over to boxing and talk about Canelo Alvarez versus Sergey Kovalev, the Crusher. Anthony doesn't really know anything about boxing, but Canelo coming up, I think it's like almost 3 weight classes in some heavyweight division. I don't know how.
Light heavyweight,
yeah. Oh, sorry. We have Sergey Kovalev. He has some great power for his weight, but Canelo, don't count him out. He's coming up some weight classes, but he's got some power of his own. Some guys might be counting him out, but I see Canelo actually coming out on top. What do you think?
Yeah, I see that happening for sure. I could see a knockout. I could see him dropping Kovalev. I believe he got dropped by Andre Ward.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't sure.
If you remember, and Canelo has that, like, compared to Kovalev, he's shorter, he's stocky, he's thick in the upper body. So it's kind of like Kelvin Gastelum, how he's shorter and he's thicker in the upper body. He has that power. So that'll be interesting. But I see Canelo taking it. There's some type of record that people were talking about on some interviews that he was going to have compared to Sugar Shane Mosley and some other fighters. I don't know if it was the amount of titles that he had altogether, or the amount of weight. The amount of weight classes. I think Pacquiao has that. Pacquiao has like 7 or 8 weight classes. But I see Canelo winning. Kovalev, great fighter, but probably not going to be his night.
Is there anything else we're going to talk about? I think that was it.
Nothing yet. Still trying to get a fight.
Sure.
Still looking. So if you're watching, call me up.
Alright, so it looks to be everything we have for you today, guys. So enjoy the fights tonight, as you know we will. And we'll see you on the next episode of Behind
the Grind. Woo!
Peace.
Wrestling with God, I don't really want to rest, so man, it's really life, like everything in my life. Arguing with my dad, and he said it ain't